G'day guys, this is Shadow again. We're at day 6 of Cursed City. Now, I'm needing just one more key to unlock Amius. Great name that. Um, so, I will just quickly push through some of these sub-stages and hoping that they are straightforward. No more aborted attempts. So, I just sort of charge through as quickly as possible. Now, just using my tried and tested characters here. Stultus is always a good wave cleaner. Um, is it Darthy? Anyway, using the nukers from the Sylvan Watchers and just a buffer to, well, a healer, really, sorry, to try and keep the team alive. I've lost one of the Sylvan Watchers already, but we should be right here anyway. So I'll just push through. I'm not going to worry about turn counts for this video. We will just push straight to the final boss as quickly as possible, just to see if we can do anything about him. Tried not to watch too many videos on how to clear the final boss, because I want to see if I can do it myself. That said, this is new content, so you would be expecting that unless you're an absolute kraken, that, yeah, it's not going to be easy for a free-to-play account. We will see, though. We will see. So just pushing through, playing it as cautious as possible. Unfortunately, the little Irish dude is a bit of a pain. Slows things down by putting up the revive on deaths. He's supposed to be good in Hydra. I've never actually quite got him going, though. I've got 3 of them. Okay. So, we have a choice as to which path to take. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is just to get a little bit of extra speed out of Uko and reviving, and hopefully we just get enough damage from Rat and Rotos and Monkey, and obviously Fat Man bringing in the allied attack. Usually in Doom Tower I don't really have too much of a problem with any of the dragons. They're pretty much just smack until they die type creatures. There's no actual real thinking with these bosses, depending on the characters you've got, obviously. Okay, so a little bit slower than I was expecting. And this is with the video slightly sped up and on 2 times, but it looks like it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now these little side minions, I don't know if other people actually try and deal with them. I don't. I just ignore that they exist and take out the boss. Seems to be the way to go. Fat Man finally gets a shot. And down he goes. So yeah. So what did we get? We got Merciless with no critical rating and flat stats. Supersonic with no speed. Loving these drops. Merciless with speed, no critical rate, defense and hit point, but we got some critical damage at least. And another supersonic with no speed. So not really getting much joy out of the drops so far from this Cursed City. I think I've got 1 speed boot, but guess what? It was Merciless, not supersonic, but you still need speed with damage. So okay, D16. I'm hoping it's pretty straightforward because I've got Grazier, and yeah, he's a good wave clearer, and he does a lot of damage to bosses because he's got the max hit point attack. That said, that attack is absolutely useless on waves, so if you get him, don't use his max hit point attack when you're just fighting normal enemies, because it just tickles. You're better off using his A1 over and over, and his A3 when that's available. A3 is really good for crowd control because, as you can see, he provokes. That comes in clutch in so many areas in Doom Tower, and is actually the most reliable outside of Morley provoke that I've got in my account for Hydra. Now Morley's great, but she's unreliable in that she doesn't always provoke for 2 turns. And she doesn't really bring any damage at all, whereas Grazier does. And all she really does is give you a revive with an unkillable that the Mischief boss can steal. So it's dangerous to revive with Uko or Morley. And forgive the pronunciation, guys. I just play the game. I don't really pay attention to the names half the time. Okay, moving on. Right, so this will be interesting. I only probably a month ago attempted Ice Golem hard for the first time and managed to push through. After, like, when it first came out, I just failed miserably and stopped. But yeah, a month ago I pushed, and just using characters without changing anything that I already had, I managed to get to Ice Golem stage 9. I can farm that reliably. Stage 10, not so much, but I have beaten that just one time. Now, the question becomes here, who do I kill first? I think Bommel, for me, is the easy answer because he's going to do the most damage. My thinking is that that's going to be the case. So what I've done here is I brought Oella from the Sylvian Watchers, and she's going to be my healing, and she will also speed my team up. I've got Burns with Eleanor, and she also poisons, and she explodes the poisons. I've got Ninja for burns and multi-hitting, and Mishinaki just puts out the Hex and burns and joins in with an ally attack whenever a Hex is on a player, and he feels like it because it doesn't always happen. Yeah, so he does some damage. I find Mishinaki's probably my biggest damage dealer in Hydra, and I use him in a couple of untuned clan boss teams, and he does more damage than anybody else. I've got him in Relentless just so he gets as many turns as possible. And of course I've got Ray. She does alright too. Okay, so Merciless with speed and a double in flat defense. Awesome. It's always good to get a mythical with double in flats. It's kind of a useless piece. Supersonic with no speed again. Yeah, this is going good. Merciless, we have critical rate, but we have flat defense attack. Yeah, no speed. Supersonic with speed. Okay, so this one would be good aside from the flat hit points. That's a good piece. We have critical rate, we have critical damage, we have speed. And we don't have speed again on that one. So, not loving it. Not loving it, right? But yeah, hopefully they either roll nicely. And here we go. We've unlocked the boss. Nice little splash screen. So yes, hopefully they roll good, these pieces. And with a bit of ore, luck, a bit of RNG, they might be usable. Okay, so this is the question. Can I beat Amius? It's not Amius. Okay, it's Amius. Little correction there. I thought he was a little bit poorly named, but no, that was just my memory. Maybe that's just what I call him from now on. He's Anus. Lunar Archon, Mr. Anus. Now, the mechanics of this boss are all over the place, being mythical. He changes the way he attacks pretty much every 3 seconds. So effectively, you don't want to do what I've just done now. You don't want to apply any reduced attacks, any reduced defense, or anything outside of poisons until his his A3, I assume it is, has been used, and then apply a block heal because he heals, and then watch the counter on his passive, that red P1 that's there at the moment. When that's up, what you want to do is apply a reduce attack, because he's about to turn into his other form. And what you also want to do is not have too many buffs on your team, or any buffs on your team, when he changes, because he will reverse all those buffs into something nasty. Then he'll go along and he will A1 and kill your player. Every time he kills your player, he'll sleep the rest of your team, have another shot, kill a player, have another shot, sleep, block, whatever, and game over. So Python is clutch here. He reduces damage and can revive your team and place block buffs, which can then get turned into block debuffs, which then get turned into block buffs. So as you can see, I'm not going to be able to complete this guy today. So day 7 maybe, day 8, day 15, day 30. He's not really something that my free-to-play account, at least, is capable of dealing with. Yeah, I'll come back to him, but I did sneaky play him a couple of times off camera, thinking that I was just going to cruise through him, and I couldn't. He just decimated me. The most I got to was down to 1/3 life on him, and then he just says, no, I'm not playing game anymore, and just wipes my team one by one, and sometimes in one hit. So yeah, Mr. Amius, not so good. Okay, now I've talked over the selection here. Now I've got 2 Geo just because I had no other options. You can't use Burn on the Magma Dragon because it will heal him. So all the Geos are doing is AoE attacking, reducing accuracy, and filling up a space on the team. The only person really doing anything in this team is Stultus. And yeah, he's the yeah, I mean, Geo just killed the boss, but that's because Stultus did all the damage. I've got Mr. Stun with the blue hair. Again, forgive me for the names. He was supposed to be good for Bommel. I never managed to get him working, but he's got a AoE stun, so, and he's not really built properly, so there's no real damage going on here. Excuse me. But yeah, he's just in there again just to fill the team up. And then I've got Minea. Geez, one day I should learn these. I should learn the names of these characters. But yeah, I got the healer because she's just a tank. So she's in there to keep my team from being decimated. Again, I only just built her a couple of weeks ago, if that. She's only just hit 60, and she doesn't have all the masteries, but she seems to be a decent tank when there is nothing else available, which is going to be something that happens quite often in this cursed city. Okay, so unlike Amius, these duo bosses are not that hard selectively for my account. There are obviously a few that I haven't hit yet, and there's a reason for that, because I just don't have the characters. There are also some stages that on the surface looked very easy, and again, I don't have the characters. Okay, Merciless with critical attack percent and speed. That was good. Again, speed, critical attack, and hit point, and a flat attack. So not so great. Supersonic with accuracy and speed. Supersonic with speed, resonant. That's the sort of support one. Critical rate, critical damage, and speed 5-star. Speed 5-star again. Yeah. Okay. So that was, I mean, they're all 5-star mostly, but a little bit better combination of drops. Yeah, so sort of a failed attempt today. I will clear off some more stages over the next few days, and I will keep sneaky approaching that boss to see if I can actually just get in there, get a little RNG luck, and take him down. So far, I won't even tell you how many runs I've done, but that didn't work. So yes, we have Deadwood Jedi's Nutbraids and a few others putting up team compositions that they're calling free to play friendly. Nah, nah. My account is free to play, has been the whole way through. It is 4 years old. So I've been grinding this game, if you want to. I was going to say stupid game, but it's my choice. Um, I've been grinding this game for 4 years. So I spent like a year almost getting my first legendary. This is back with Whirly Frost King or whatever he was with the original Battle Pass. So that was back when I started. It took almost a year. I've now got about 140 legendaries, but this is still a free to play account. I've got some okay gear, but not enough to go around with everybody. And when you hit these sort of niche bosses or niche stages where you need to have built, say, a rare to 60 with better gear than any non-Kraken has, Doom Tower hard secret rooms, for example, there's a mission that I've got to finish, and there's 2 rotations where there are multiple secret rooms that effectively you have to build some useless rare champions to 60, fully deck them out with your best gear just to clear those secret rooms. I'm not endgame enough to bother doing that. Never will. There is one rotation though. If I spend about 3 hours banking on RNG, I can finish all the secret rooms. Now that's 3 hours just on one of them. So all sorts of fun. But then I will have finished all the missions and I'll have that Ram, whatever you want, Ramantu. I'll have him probably January, February now because this rotation I managed to clear 11 of the 12 secret rooms. And you need all 12 of them to finish that mission. So yeah, Cursed City. To me, it's a fun new addition to the game. I am enjoying it. But there are certain areas that I'm going to struggle to pass being free to play, or I'm never going to pass because I'm not going to devote all my resources to building 2 champions for one room or one stage. It's not going to happen. The big thing with Amius, not Annis, the big thing with Amius is I think I do definitely have the champions to beat him, just not the builds. And the champions that I need to beat him, I do use in lots of content. And yeah, it's sort of questionable whether I want to sacrifice them from the other content that I need sometimes daily, especially when we don't have free gear removal permanently. Raid, do this. If we had free gear removal like every other adventure game I've ever played, charging you to take your own clothes off, yeah, strange way of doing things, right? But if we had the free gear removal, I would quite happily just strip those characters, rebuild them in the most tankiest gear I've got, and probably have cleared Amius today. But instead, I spent maybe an hour or two just trying again, hoping RNG was going to help me. It didn't. So it's yeah, it's given me something to work towards anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening to the rant, and see you for day 7 maybe. But yes, I've now made the 3 keys. I'm now at the boss, so it's now just a matter of mopping up and maybe just doing some videos on the random bosses. Okay, thanks guys.